So I was the fool that thought, oh yeah, I can totally do a bi-monthly book buying ban. That's not happening. G'day folks, Wren here, and today we're going to do my February haul. I actually tried during February not to buy books, and then I had this thought of, oh, I had pre-planned to do a haul video every month, so I need to buy books. And then that thought just like kept occurring, so I kept buying books. I might have a problem, but like, at least it's just books. Okay, we'll start off with my Rabble book for February. Rabble is a bookshop in WA that has a queer subscription service. It also has a First Nations subscription service and a picture book subscription service. And for 2023, their queer book subscription, I think as well as the First Nations one, have gone bi-monthly. So I got a book in February, but I won't get one in March. But the book for February was A Minor Chorus by Billy Ray Belcourt. I had vaguely heard of this because it might have been the January or February book pick for the Indigenous Reading Circle on Instagram. And I did really want to read this one, but I just didn't get around to reading it. So the fact that it came in the Rabble subscription service, I was like, awesome. I don't really know what it's about. I just know that the author is Indigenous and it's a queer book. It's about someone writing their own biography. A Minor Chorus is a novel about how deeply entangled the sayable and unsayable can become, about breaching the prisons we live inside, and about how ordinary life, when pressed, can produce hauntingly beautiful music. You know I love anything that's hauntingly beautiful. So the next I got was Over the Top by Jonathan Van Ness. I have read this. This is JVN's biography, memoir, whatever you want to call it. If you don't know who this lovely human being is, they are on Queer Eye and they're a hairstylist and just gorgeous human being. Please go look at his Instagram. It's adorable. And just like, she lives a good life, you know? It's cute. I love it. Yeah, this goes through kind of all of his life and it was very good, very heartfelt, and I just wanted a physical copy and this was at the op shop, so I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. Next up, I'm still kind of questioning why I bought this, but it's The Bollywood Beauty by Shalini Akhil. Sorry if that was awful, but just like, look at the phone. Oh, it's amazing. When was this made? Like early 2000s. 2005, yeah. I think like despite the kind of cringe cover, this seems to be about two cousins, one living in Australia, one living in Fiji. The one from Fiji comes to live with the one in Australia, and it's a lot of dealing with cultural differences and reclaiming your culture in a place where maybe society doesn't particularly want you to. But in this delicious and highly spiced novel, Shalini Akhil dishes up tears, laughter, music and food with a truly scary dinner dance thrown in and a final scene to make you laugh and cry. The Bollywood Beauty is a novel about discovery and self-discovery. It's fun, fresh and insightful from an appealing new voice. So I picked up Anything But Fine by Tobias Madden. I don't know what this is about. I literally bought it because I'm like, oh, that's queer, yoink. But let's find out what it is. Okay, so it looks like it's YA and a kid is auditioning for the Australian ballet school, but he breaks his foot. And then he falls in love. Cool. I don't know, it actually sounds really cute now that I'm looking at it. I didn't know it was YA, but it's queer, it's Australian. I'm gonna read it. Then I picked up Gargantis by Thomas Taylor. This is the second book in the first one's Malamander. I don't know what the series is. I own Malamander. I really want to read it, but I haven't yet. But I saw the sequel, so I bought it. I've already said I had a problem, okay? I don't know what these are about, but they're middle grade and there are creature things happening, and I mean, the covers are also cool. Then I got the Rook by Daniel O'Malley. This was kind of a cover by, spine by, but it sounded interesting. And the main character's name is Mfanwe. Love that name. So Mfanwe is holding a letter when she wakes in London Park surrounded by corpses all wearing latex gloves. That's cool. She also has no memory and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. She has to find all these letters to help explain who she is, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. Then there's some kind of secret government agency that protects the world against supernatural threats. Also sounds cool, so it sounds very much my vibe. We Are Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler. This was kind of intriguing. So Rosemary doesn't talk much, and about certain things she's silent. She had a sister, Fern, her whirlwind other half, who vanished from her life in circumstances she wishes she could forget. Now she's trying to find out what happened to her sister, and the thing that really got me was, what if you grew up to realize that your father had used your childhood as an experiment? Like, that sounds really interesting. I hope it's as weird and creepy as I want it to be, but I'm honestly not sure that that's gonna happen. I feel so meh about a lot of the books I bought in February, so I probably shouldn't have bought them, but I did anyways. And then we have Mammoth by Chris Flynn. This one I am actually very much excited for, and also just the cover is great. This is narrated by a 13,000-year-old mammoth. So this is the mostly true story of how a collection of prehistoric creatures came to be on sale at a natural history auction in New York in 2007. I don't know about you, but that sounds fascinating. Like, as an archaeologist and someone who loves museums, getting from the perspective of one of the artifacts, that just sounds funny. And then I had seen this book several times at op shops and I kept not picking it up because it's huge, and this time I was just like, just buy it. So I did. So it's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. What is it, like 1,000 pages? No, it's probably not 1,000. No, but it's like 840. But yeah, I don't know what this is about. So 19th century England, two very different magicians. That was kind of it, and I know some people really love this. Honestly, if I read this in the next like 5 years, I'll be impressed. And the next stack of books are ones I actually really intended to buy because I got them all from Booktopia. I was in a queer mood, which I always am, so. But all of these books are queer. So I got In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. I had wanted this when it first came out and I just kept not picking it up. And it did get a bit of hype and then the hype died down, but I'm not sure if I really know if people read it or not. So this has something to do with like death magic. I don't know if it's necessarily necromancy, but I mean there's a skull in the cover, so you know it's got something to do with death, and they're like ghostly creatures, powerful spirits. It does seem a little political, which I'm not a fan of, but it is queer. It's polyamorous, I believe, or at least our main character is attracted to a female and a male. I don't know if they end up being a throuple or if it's just pan rep or bi rep or something, but it's queer and there's death magic and the cover's great. Then I got Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur. This is the first in the Written in the Stars series. I have already read this. I just wanted a physical copy. I gave it a really high rating. I probably shouldn't have at the time. I did enjoy reading this. It's not an all-time favorite, but I did enjoy it. I love fake dating, so that's always my thing, and it is queer, which I also love. There is stuff about astrology, which is also good. I don't care that it's a retelling of some Austen thing. I don't read any Austen, but our main characters' names are Darcy and Elle, so that's Pride and Prejudice, right? And I wanted to continue the series, but I never did. I don't know if I will continue, but I did want a copy of this because I do want to reread it to kind of get a more fleshed out opinion on it, because I really can't remember very much. I do remember their first meeting, and I remember some of the cute dates they went on, but I don't remember much, and I would really like to reread this, give it another shot, see if I love it. Then I got The Wicker King by Kay Ankrum. I wanted to read this for so long. It just, like, look at the... Isn't that cool? So the pages actually get darker as our main character's mind, not like crumbles, but I don't know, is corrupted or something's happening on with his mind. I'm not sure. This is queer and it has something to do with like this main character and this person in his head or something. August and Jack have never lived in the same world. They have a very intense friendship and they rely on each other for survival. When Jack begins to see increasingly vivid hallucinations, August decides to help Jack the only way he knows how, by believing him and believing in the fantasy kingdom that creeps into the edges of the real world. So it seems very much like a mind... Oh wow, how do I say that without swearing? I don't know, which is not good for my vocabulary. I don't know, but it seems like it really will like mess with your mind and messes with our characters' minds, which is very cool. And I do love Kay Ancram's writing. I've read The Way in the Stars and I loved it. So I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, and then I picked up Other Ever Afters, New Queer Fairy Tales by Melanie Gilman. I hadn't heard of this, but I saw it on Booktopia and I was like, okay, sure. Happily Ever After for all of us. Yes. So it does seem to just be what it says on the cover. Fairy tales, but queer. Come visit a happily ever after where princes are spurned but monsters are wed, where castles crumble while villagers thrive, and where knights lay down their swords only to have peasants pick them up. In this collection of original feminist queer fairy tales, Melanie Gilman creates a new twist on happily ever after. That sounds cool. I'm always down for feminist stuff too. And for some reason when I bought it, I didn't know that it was a graphic novel, but it is, so that's cool. I don't know if I am 100% on the art style, but it could be good. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if these are like retellings or new fairy tales. I'm not up to date on fairy tales. But we have The King's Forest, The Goose Girl, New Name, Sweet Rock, Seti? No idea. The Fishwife and The People's Forest. So, I don't know. I'm excited to just get through this, see what is happening. And then the last book that I got was Queer Power, Icons, Activists and Game Changers from Across the Rainbow by Dominique. But this is a queer non-fiction about all these queer icons. Whether they're famous or not, it is just people that have really helped the queer community, even in small ways. It's so pretty. I have started reading this because I couldn't not. But it's just gorgeous. And so this book is a safe space for you, a place to lose yourself in its artwork and remind you to always live your authentically queer truth. I'm here for you. I read the introduction of this and I wanted to start crying. Because it was nice to be like loved in that way. But yeah, so we have... Each page has this artwork and then a page about the person. Okay, so Lil Nas X. Oh hey, because I was talking about them before. JVN. But yeah, this is really good it feels like a really good pick-me-up, because I started reading this on a day where I was feeling really awful and my dysphoria was really kicking me in the teeth, and even just reading the introduction and like the first couple people, I was just comforted. And that's the real strong power of this book, is to just make you feel comfortable and at home and to show you all these amazing people. And I really love the art style of this too, actually. And I'm just really looking forward to learning about all of these amazing queer people. I just want to show you all the pages because they're just beautiful. Okay, I'm going to stop, but they're beautiful. And I highly recommend just like trying to pick this up because it's a good fun time and it's beautiful and important. But that was a lot of books for when I said that I was going to try and not buy books. We'll see how I do in March, but at least for the beginning of 2023, my hauls are less than they were in 2022, which is a good thing. Because in 2022, I hauled over 200 books. That's not what I want to continue doing. I want to lessen the amount of books I buy. So, what was this? 11, 12? That's better for me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.